Hey, Washington Commanders fans. I have two absolutely crucial pieces of news that show exactly where we are right now and where we can go from here, and you're going to want to hear every word because this completely defines the future of our franchise. The first piece of news brings an exciting possibility of a major move in the offseason that could finally give Jaden Daniels the offensive weapon he desperately needs. And we're talking about a proven wide receiver who already has chemistry with our quarterback. And the second deeply analyzes Marcus Mariota's performance on Sunday night, showing why he is both a winner and a loser, and you'll understand exactly what that means. Subscribe to the channel now and hit the bell icon because you don't want to miss these exclusive analyses, and give that, if you want to see radical changes happening in the offseason. Let's start by talking about this possible major move that could happen in the offseason and has the potential to transform our offense. The Washington Commanders began the 2025 season with sky-high expectations after surprisingly reaching the NFC Championship game the previous year. Many respected analysts considered them serious title contenders in a tightly balanced conference where any team could win. However, as December arrived, the reality is extremely harsh. A dreadful record of 3 wins and 9 losses leaves the franchise on the brink of yet another painful and premature offseason. Devastating injuries have completely decimated the roster throughout the season. The rookie sensation Jaden Daniels, the catalyst of so much preseason optimism, participated in only 6 games and hasn't stepped on the field since November 2nd due to a horrific elbow dislocation. The star wide receiver, Terry McLaurin, also played only 5 miserable games due to persistent injuries. To significantly worsen the situation, Washington started the year as the oldest team in the entire NFL in terms of average age, a concerning factor that has resulted in a seemingly endless series of technical and physical issues. Even during the brief moments that Daniels was available on the field, the offense rarely functioned at the expected and anticipated level. Major changes are absolutely inevitable at this point, and the front office seems finally ready to surround their young quarterback with much more dynamic players for the 2026 season. One specific name that has been gaining tremendous traction as a realistic target is San Francisco 49ers wide receiver Brandon Ayuk, who could be exactly what we need. Despite signing a 4-year contract extension with the 49ers in 2024, the 27-year-old's future in the San Francisco Bay Area appears increasingly uncertain and murky. A severe ACL tear suffered last October kept him out for the entire 2025 season, and reliable reports indicate that he has significantly distanced himself from the organization throughout the year. Most league experts are now confidently predicting that San Francisco will simply cut him after the season instead of extending his contract for 2026 with more money. Jeremy Fowler from ESPN recently highlighted the Commanders as an absolutely logical destination for the former first-round draft pick. Fowler wrote that a team to keep an eye on regarding Ayuk is definitely Washington because he is extremely close to quarterback Jaden Daniels, his former teammate at Arizona State, and general manager Adam Peters, who is a disciple of John Lynch from his time in San Francisco, fully understands Ayuk's experience as a player and a person. The connection between Ayuk and Washington is neither recent nor superficial. When strong trade rumors involving Ayuk emerged before his contract extension for 2024, Washington was constantly mentioned among his absolutely preferred destinations, primarily due to the pre-existing bond with Daniels from their time playing together at Arizona State University. In his last fully healthy season in 2023, Ayuk recorded an impressive 75 receptions for 1,342 yards and 7 touchdowns, with an explosive average of 17.9 yards per reception. The player from Reno, Nevada, had achieved consecutive seasons with over 1,000 receiving yards before a knee injury brutally interrupted his 2024 campaign. For a Commanders franchise absolutely desperate to provide Daniels with legitimate long-pass threats and accelerate the necessary reconstruction, bringing in a proven receiver still at the peak of his career, who already shows a natural rapport with the quarterback, makes all the sense in the world. If San Francisco goes through with their release after the season as everyone expect Washington to definitely be among the first teams to reach out directly to Ayuk's team to negotiate a contract. It would be the perfect move considering all the circumstances and connections involved. Now let's move on to the second piece of news that analyzes Marcus Mariota's performance on Sunday night in a different way. On Sunday, 2 former Oregon Ducks quarterbacks faced off as Washington Commanders starter Marcus Mariota took on Denver Broncos' Bo Nix at Northwest Stadium in a crucial game to keep the Commanders' hopes of making the playoffs, however remote, alive. For us Commanders fans, it was an unfortunate game, not only because of Mariota's hesitant pronunciation by commentator Chris Collinsworth, but also due to the devastating overtime loss 27-26. However, the former Ducks idol had several moments of true brilliance throughout the game that showed genuine flashes of the player who, in his 11th year as a professional, was the 2nd overall pick in the draft. In pure and concrete numbers, Mariota's performance was intriguing. In a Commander offense primarily focused on passes, Mariota's numbers after the game show impressive resilience, his well-known ability to run with the ball, already established with the Ducks, and an accuracy worthy of his recent induction into the University of Oregon Athletic Hall of Fame. Mariota completed 28 of 50 passes, which gives him a 56% completion rate for a personal record of 294 yards and 2 touchdowns with only 1 interception. Mariota also reached his season high with 55 rushing yards on 10 attempts, which is impressive. Both of Mariota's touchdowns occurred after halftime against the league's 5th best defense. One of the positives of Mariota's performance that extended from the end of the first quarter to the final minutes of overtime was his ability to quickly launch the ball into the opposing field, helping to neutralize the Broncos' reaction. Although it all started with an 11-yard connection with tight end Zach Ertz with less than 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter, a 21-yard pass to Ertz truly kicked off Mariota's long passing game. In fact, Mariota's long passes of more than 10 yards were primarily directed towards Ertz and wide receiver Terry McLaurin, who are our most reliable targets. Upon carefully analyzing Mariota's long passes, 6 were caught by McLaurin and 5 by Ertz, showing an intelligent distribution. Receiver Deebo Samuel, the main target of the Commanders, was the one who received the longest pass from Mariota in the game, a 38-yard reception that put the Commanders in first and goal with less than 4 minutes left in overtime. Although the coverage on Samuel was questionable, Mariota's progression and the precise pass to Samuel demonstrate the valuable experience the coach brings to Washington. However, it wasn't all smooth sailing for him. While some analysts point to Mariota's bad pass to running back Jeremy McNichols in the 2-point conversion attempt as an immediate failure in the former Ducks' performance, and this is attributed to the lack of coverage that left McNichols open, Mariota's problems began early in the game. Chris Collinsworth said during the broadcast that they had an easy touchdown and the play was perfect. But if Marcus Mariota could do it all over again, he could have thrown the ball as high as he wanted because there was nobody there. Washington's first offensive drive, a nearly 6-minute 10-play plan, gave the Commanders an initial sense that running the ball would be a problem against the Broncos' run defense. However, the Commanders' next drive also involved Mariota trying to find rhythm with incomplete passes to Ertz and McLaurin. Mariota's only interception of the game, which occurred in the first minute of the second half, likely led the Commanders to seek alternative plays for short passes that weren't working against the Broncos. The recovery of a fumble suffered by Washington after Mariota was sacked minutes later masked a potentially crucial mistake that could have cost dearly. There are also Mariota's characteristic run plays that secure crucial first downs at important moments. Mariota's uniform even showed the results of his ground game, covered in dirt and grass stains as he embraced Nix at the end of overtime, demonstrating how hard he fought. Nix said that a guy like this deserves to step onto the field and play at this level, and it makes you wish both teams could win a game like this. Therefore, although the Commanders suffered a bitter defeat against the Broncos, Mariota showcased some impressive moments that will likely earn him the backup spot again next year if he chooses to return and back up starter Jaden Daniels on offense. He is the kind of veteran player you want in the locker room, teaching the young quarterback and ready to step in when needed. The question is whether he'll want to return to be a backup, or if he'll prefer to try to secure a starting spot elsewhere. But considering his age and the current market for quarterbacks, it likely makes more sense for him to stay here where he is valued and respected. What is clear is that even in defeat, Mariota showed that he still has value in the NFL and can contribute significantly when called upon. So the final question I leave for you to deeply reflect on and answer in the comments is, considering that we have the real possibility of bringing Brandon Ayuk in the offseason due to the connection with Jaden Daniels and the knowledge of Adam Peters, and considering that Marcus Mariota has shown he can still play at a high level but is getting older, do you believe we should spend our limited salary cap money on a star wide receiver like Ayuk who can transform our offense? Or would it be smarter to invest that money in multiple positions, including keeping Mariota as a reliable backup, and strengthening other areas like the defense, which has been horrible,